Shalom, shalom, shalom. Welcome to a special edition of My Take with Rosh Ya'acob Abraham. Got a lot going on tonight. Thank everyone for logging in and all those good things. And I thank everybody for the replay, watching on the replay. I really worked hard to try to make this a really good show for you all tonight. Again, for those of y'all who don't know me, my name is Rosh Ya'acob Abraham, Rosh Ya'acob ben Abraham, son of Abraham, and I am a rabbi at Gethsemane Spiritual Temple Congregation. We at our congregation focus on Torah, and that is the focus point of each and every program. This program might have more philosophical and intellectual conversations than Torah, than what y'all used to with my programs. Again, Brother Nehemiah sent me a message and asked me to do a program on Dr. Umar Johnson and the things that was going on with him in the video. He wasn't really specific with what he wanted. He just sent me the whole video. I know it's several things, and I know, of course, I saved the main part for last, the part that everybody might be waiting for. Yeah, I saved the best for last, so people will be like, okay, yeah, this is what I've been waiting for. Yeah, that's what I've been waiting to get into. So we're going to get into it. I don't want to spend too much time yippity-yappity about a lot of things because I really want to get into why you all are logging on or logging into the show to see the different things that we're going to be discussing and talking about on the show. So, yes, I really wanted to focus on those things, try to make sure everything is straight and together. So I made a few changes, as y'all going to see, to incorporate the better usage of the kern of the month. For now on, at the beginning of the month, I'm going to present the kern of the month. And when I present the kern of the month at the beginning of the month, I'll present the kern of the month. Oh, hold up. I think I got the thing cut off. Oh, man. There might have been some people saying shalom. Well, if it was people who are saying shalom, say shalom to you all. I didn't realize that my browser was off. I just happened to look and notice it just now. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. At the beginning of the month, I'm gonna deal with the kern of the month. Got a real interesting kern for you today. It all seems to be befitting, right? Because this is the 4th of July. The 4th of July, where they lied about the independence of America, as far as how it applies to us. You know, even though during those times they made it clear that no, that's not talking about you, but some of our people still get fireworks and firecrackers and sparkles and still want to eat burgers and hot dogs during this time. One of the things that happens in Baltimore, I'm not sure if it's going to happen tonight or not because of a lot of the violence that's been happening the past couple of days here. But one of the things that's normally done here is everyone will go downtown to the inner harbor and to see the fireworks, which probably will be starting like right about now or probably in 30 more minutes. They would go down there and position themselves in the inner harbor so they could see these fireworks, right? And it's a lot of our people that's celebrating this stuff. But this day has nothing to do with us. They don't want to hear that. But that's why I call it the 4th of July. The 4th of July. Anyway, so I got you can't really tell in the camera, but I got on my black by popular demand shirt on. You can see my little colors on it and all that kind of stuff, and in a real black activist mind state right now. To the people. And yeah, so we gonna get it on, and this show is gonna be probably one of the blackest. I didn't even want to say that. We'll see. All right, guys. So again, we're gonna start off with the current of the month. Of course, you know it's July, so our former current of the month has been retired. We talked about him enough. We have a new current of the month to focus on. And we will focus on this current of the month. We'll start off at the beginning of each month, just focusing on the current of the month. And then the next 3 weeks in the month, we will focus on the breaking news. Because I said, I noticed the last couple of shows by me adding so many things to the show, it took away from why you guys were logging on and what you guys wanted to see. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to false advertise. Like, yeah, I'm going to be talking about this. And then all y'all hear me talking about is the breaking news. It's like, y'all like, oh my goodness. Oh, this is like, I could look at TV and heard this. No, you couldn't have heard the stuff I talk about on breaking news on TV. But at any rate, we're going to go ahead and get into this. So again, there will be no breaking news for this week because this is the first of the month. It's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. All right, anyway. So this is the first of the month. And yeah, y'all going to hear the corniness come out every now and then. All right, so this is the first of the month. And at the first of the month, we're going to always have the current of the month. And then the next 3 weeks after that will be the breaking news. All because I don't want to, I don't want to do so much where y'all not really getting what I'm advertising for y'all to log on for. Because then it's like false advertisement, or like I'm just putting it up for clicks, like clickbait. And there's no clickbait over here. I'm trying to keep it real as real can be. So with that being said, not gonna hold y'all too much longer. I'm just gonna go ahead and get into this current of the month.
All right, guys, we're gonna try a picture on this. Let's get everybody one, please. All right, guys, pictures up.
Pictures up.
Pictures up.
Let's roll sound.
Rolling.
Rolling.
Sound speeds.
Camera speed. 2. Awesome. Take 2. Mark.
Set up. Ready?
Set. And action.
So the current of the month for July 2023 is none other than Trakoki University of Beauty Culture. Yay! Oh my goodness. Oh, this is crazy. Now I know you guys might be thinking, how can a whole university be a current? Easy. The University of Trakokia Beauty Culture did something very, very terrible. They allowed a young lady who was a student at their school to be expelled because she spoke up about a Juneteenth celebration that was planned. And she spoke up about this Juneteenth celebration. Somebody there didn't like it. And we're going to let her get into this and tell you a little more about this herself.
So today I got kicked out of school because the director at my school didn't like the feedback that I had for her about something that she said in class. So I go to school right now for aesthetics. I was practicing to be an esthetician. Now at my school on Monday and Wednesdays we have this thing called morning meetings where we basically just talk about what's going to happen for the day, the next few days, and we celebrate people that's like graduating and all of that type of stuff. Okay. Now the director at my school had an announcement for us, and she said that Monday we will be celebrating Juneteenth, but instead of celebrating it for what it's for, we're going to celebrate it as a diverse day. Make it a diverse holiday.
Now, that's where it messed up with me. She actually said, instead of us celebrating what it's for, we're going to celebrate it as a diverse holiday.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Are you serious? It sounds unbelievable, right? Wait, it gets better. And I wish she would have gave the name of this director. That's why I just gave it to the whole university. Because I felt like they should have stuck behind their student. I'm going to let her finish telling her story of what happened to her.
And I immediately got turned off by that because...
I bet you did, sister.
It's Juneteenth, right?
Exactly.
So after the morning meeting was over, I went up to the director and I asked to speak to her in private. We went to her office, explained to her, I'm like, yeah.
Now, this is very essential to what's happening because she's going to have a conversation with this director person that she did not name. She's going to have the conversation with this director person, private, right? Have a conversation with the director in private. Keep that in mind. That's very essential to the story.
Yeah, the way you worded it at the morning meeting today, I didn't like how you said it because Juneteenth isn't a diverse holiday. It's not a diverse holiday. It's not where we celebrate diversity. We celebrate African American independence. And she was basically telling me yeah, you need to mind your business because you don't know what I have planned for Monday. We're a diverse school, therefore we're gonna celebrate this holiday as a diverse day.
Say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
And I was immediately turned off because
exactly,
that's not what Juneteenth is about.
Exactly.
So after that, I went back into the classroom.
Now, she deemed her to be a problem after she came to her. This director deemed this young lady to be a problem after she came to her and explained to her her point of view on Juneteenth and what it was about. They would not make St. Patrick's Day a diversity day.
Have I mentioned that I want to be gold?
St. Patrick's Day have to do with Ireland and the Irish.
I want me gold! I want me gold! I want me gold!
Cinco de Mayo is not a diversity day. Cinco de Mayo has to do with the liberation and stuff that happened in Mexico. Juneteenth is about Black people. I want to do something. People don't seem to understand what is Juneteenth about. Let's look at this. Let me make my man smaller so we can fit this in here. Because this is a serious thing we need to talk about. The historical legacy of Juneteenth, right? On Freedom's Eve. Now, Freedom's Eve, for what you all might don't know, was January the 1st, 1863. This was the first watch night on December the 31st, 1862. That evening, as it was getting ready to turn into the New Year's, a resolution was passed. that the enslaved, or that our captive ancestors rather, would be emancipated, would be set free. That's when the Emancipation Proclamation would take place. Now, our ancestors started the watch night. The watch night that everybody do now, where they count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and they sit there like, Happy New Year, and be all happy. They didn't always do that. That tradition, as many traditions, came out of us. We sat there. Our ancestors sat there, anticipating the very moment that slavery was going to end. That's why it became watch night. So we sat there, we gathered around, we waited, and then it was Happy New Year, but it was Happy Freedom. Because we was free. Everybody didn't get to enjoy that freedom of our people. Many of our people were sent to Texas, where people were still down there fighting against the Union. And these enslavers, in order to save their interest, sent their captive blacks down to Texas. Now I'm going to read this so y'all can get this and see exactly what's going on here. It says on Freedom Eve, or on the eve of January the 1st, 1863, the first watch night service took place. The first one. We created that because of our freedom. Now it's been diversified, as the lady was explaining to our student. That's been diversified. And now it's and everybody say Happy New Year's and getting drunk, and oh, we stayed up and we wait till the ball dropped, but we celebrated. They was not doing that. The first people to do that was us, and it had to do with our freedom, being emancipated from slavery. So it says, and it's from the Smithsonian Museum. If you want to check it out, I will put the link in the description for those of y'all who might want to read. Make sure that it is saying what it's supposed to say. It says on Freedom's Eve, or on the eve of January 1st, 1863, the first watch night service took place. On that night, enslaved and free African Americans gathered in churches, as we do today, still do it, some of us. On that night, enslaved and free African Americans, or enslaved captives, kidnapped Israelites, gathered in churches and in private homes all across the country, awaiting the news that the Emancipation Proclamation had taken effect. At the stroke of midnight, prayers were answered as all enslaved people in the Confederate States were declared legally free. Union soldiers, many of whom were black, marched on the plantations across the cities in the South, reading small copies of the Emancipation Proclamation, spreading the news of freedom in Confederate states. Only through the 13th Amendment did emancipation end slavery throughout the United States. So this wasn't the one that ended slavery throughout the United States. That didn't happen to the 13th Amendment. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. This proclamation right here was just for the people that was in the Confederate, because remember, Lincoln said, all y'all that's fighting against the Union, we gonna free all your captives down there because they understood that that was the South's way of keeping their control and their sway and staying wealthy. So he said, we're going to end that. We're going to take that away from you guys. Look at what else it says. But not everyone in Confederate territory would immediately be free. Even though the Emancipation Proclamation was made effective in 1863. Listen to this. It was made into effect in 1863. It could not be implemented in places still under Confederate control. In other words, places that were still under Confederate control that the Union didn't bust up yet. They said, we don't care what Lincoln and those guys said in D.C. We not letting nobody go free. Even though the country itself said that the freedom was supposed to have happened. As a result, in the westernmost Confederate state of Texas, enslaved people would not be free until much later. Freedom finally came on June 19th, 1865. That is 2 years and some months later. Again, 2 years and some months later, when some 2,000 troops, so the troops had to come down there from the Union because they knew they got their captives down in Texas hiding them, trying to wait this out in hopes that the Confederate will win. The South will rise again. The South will rise again.
Keep your Confederate money, even if it's made of tin. Keep all in crinolines, honey, the South shall rise again. Oh, Susanna, oh, don't you sit and spin. If we all turn out with a rebel shout, the South shall rise again.
So that's what they was hoping, all right. So 2,000 Union troops arrived in Galveston Bay, Texas. The Army announced that the much more, so it was more than 250,000. Do you hear what I'm saying? It was over 250,000 captive blacks in a state were free by executive decree. This day became known as Juneteenth by the newly freed people in Texas. So this is what Juneteenth is about. It's not about diversity. The same way Cinco de Mayo is not about diversity. It's not about diversity. This is about people who were being held captive that found out that they've been lied to for 2 years and some change, and now we're told that you're free. And they celebrated it. And this became such a big celebration that it became known as Juneteenth. That's what Juneteenth is about. It's about black people. It's about Israel. It's about redemption. It's about being set free. That's what this is about. So this system was right to say, wait a minute, diversity, everybody. This don't have nothing to do with diversity and everybody. This is about black people. Now, if other people want to celebrate it, they have to celebrate it saying, we're happy that you blacks got freedom. Yes, let's celebrate it like that. Not say we're going to take this and make it into a diversity day where it's about everybody. Because you're just watering down the truth of what it's about. Now, this sister spoke up about this. That's why I want to get the clarity to what happened. This sister spoke up about this to this director at Tricokia or Tricoki University. And now we're going to go back and see what transpired with this sister as she spoke up about this.
And some of my classmates were like asking me, like, what did she say? Because we were all in agreement that that's not what Juneteenth is about.
Exactly.
You know, we don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo as diversity.
No, we don't.
We don't celebrate Haitian Flag Day as diversity. We
No,
don't
we don't.
celebrate Indigenous People Day as diversity.
No, we don't.
You know, so I felt like
We
why
don't
would you take
celebrate
our holiday
St.
and
Patrick's
try to
Day
make
as
it
diversity.
something that it's not.
Exactly.
So while I was in the class, we were all talking about, you know, just basically what had happened at the morning meeting. The director storms in after me, and she's like, yeah, you need to come here. And I just asked her, I said, you want me to go home, don't you? She was like, yeah, get your stuff and leave. You will be suspended.
Wow.
And I'm like, suspended?
Suspended.
For what?
For what?
And she's like, yeah, so now you need to leave my campus.
My
before I call
campus.
police.
Really?
So after that, we got into an argument because I had to tell her,
Neither
it
is
wasn't
your
even
should
that deep.
have.
It's not that deep. Like, why are you making it this whole thing? So we got into an argument in front of all of the students in my class. Like, she completely humiliated me, told everybody that she was suspending me and that I had to go home. Like, you're not supposed to, first of all, you're not supposed to tell my personal business to other students. That's number one. Second of all, you're mad because I had an opinion about what you had to say. I did the right thing and I pulled you to the side and told you, like, I don't.
It wasn't even just the opinion, sis. It wasn't just the opinion. You was right. You were right. She was wrong. It wasn't even just the opinion. I understand how you trying to explain it to her to get her to understand, but she was wrong. And instead of the university, I'm gonna let you go ahead.
I think that's what we should be celebrating it as. So after that whole argument, she's like, yeah, now you need to leave my building, and instead of being suspended, you'll be expelled. I'm like, expelled for what?
You would have thought she threatened this director's life. You would have thought she knocked this director upside her head or something to that degree. She is expelled now. And Tricoki University did nothing. They did nothing. Now she's expelled? For what? For telling you the truth?
Leave my building, and instead of being suspended, you'll be expelled. I'm like, expelled for what? So we get into another argument as I'm leaving the door because I'm like, you're dead wrong. Your feelings are hurt. You didn't like what I had to say. And now you want to expel me and still try to make me pay for a school that I didn't fully get to attend.
And trying to make
That's
you
not
pay.
right. So as I'm leaving the building, before I left, I wanted to like explain to my teacher, like, she's not going to be letting me back, you know, what had happened. I wanted to talk to my teacher, one of the cool teachers, right? So she's like trying to grab me by my book bag. She's pulling on me, get out of my building, get out of my building. And I'm like, just wait, let me talk to my teacher because I want to talk to my teacher before I leave. Like, you doing all of this for no reason. We get in front of the clients because at my school, we take clients. It's a beauty school, so we perform services on clients. She told the clients, yeah, I'm trying to remove this racist out of my building. She won't leave. She's a racist.
How is she a racist? See, clients always reverse stuff. They always, that's what the last month's client did, try to reverse something. That client did something, lied about it. I brought it to his attention that he's a liar, and then he tried to reverse it and say, yeah, I'm trying to do something. That's clients are famous for that. Right? And whoever this woman is, eventually gonna find out her name is Miss Flo. Whoever Miss Flo is, she caused Tricoki University to become the Karen of the month. Because I can't find her so I can expose her and put her out there. Some put the whole university out there. Because they should have stood behind this sister who was right. Even after this sister brought this to the attention of the world, they still stood their ground and did not budge.
Racist because I said Juneteenth isn't a diverse holiday.
It's not.
So now I'm the racist, right? And
It's not a diverse holiday. It has nothing to do with diversity.
I'm a racist
Nothing.
and she wants me to leave. After like a minute of me trying to find my professor, I could not find her. So you know what, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna leave. But as I'm walking back to the front, she's on the phone with the police. She told the police I tried to attack her and that I wouldn't leave the building.
Classic Karanism. That's the classic thing they get on for.
He or she is 1 minute later trying to sound distressed so the police can come quicker.
What? What? What in the world is this, boy? I ain't gonna lie.
The classic Karanism. Oh my goodness gracious. Why didn't you just tell us who this person was? I would have put her on blast so bad. But I guess I gotta go with the university. I really would have put her on blast, but let's keep it going.
No, hold on. Let's take this back. There's multiple people sitting in this lobby.
Exactly.
There was multiple people in my classroom.
Yes.
Not once did I try to attack you. There's cameras in this building which show I did not try to attack you. I wasn't being violent or nothing like that.
If you would have had you would be in jail right now instead of on a phone talk.
Attack her, all of this, because she didn't like that. I didn't like that Juneteenth shouldn't be celebrated as a diverse holiday. So yeah, right now, I left. I'm gone. I left the review in the comments because I don't feel like that's right. Students of color, we can't express our feelings without directors at the school feeling like it's an attack on them, or everything has to be an attack on everybody when it comes down to Black people and African Americans in America. So yeah, that's just an update.
Let's bring out Karen to the stage. Trakokia, University of Beauty Culture. You failed your student who stood up for what was right, and you allowed a tyrant of a faculty member not only to lie on her and influence other students to stand against her, but you also allowed this faculty member out of her emotions to expel this young lady from school. And for that, you are the Karen of the month.
Unanimously, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Oh man, yeah, that was crazy. Crazy. Please like, share, subscribe. Yeah, that was crazy. Want to say shalom to Brother John and shalom to Brother Tony. If y'all haven't noticed, I made y'all moderators to make sure that culprits on the page that want to post crazy stuff will be expelled. like they unfairly expelled that young lady. But this person will be expelled because they really out here being reckless and doing crazy stuff. So shalom to both of you brothers. Yeah, that was our Karen of the month right there. Still got some good time ahead of us. We'll go ahead now and go into our artists of the week. So our artist of the week, this is a new artist. It's a trio. They're called Three Before Joy. Three Before joy. And these are some Messianic Hebrew sisters that's in Torah, and they're striving to do all this stuff. So yes, you can go ahead and y'all can bounce Brother Wesley out right now because he's still posting crazy stuff after I put him in timeout. So y'all got the power to bounce him out of here. Adios, Brother Wesley. Adios. So anyway, we're about to go ahead and get into our artists of the week. Again, these are three beautiful sisters with beautiful voices, and they're called Three Before Joy. And I'm gonna let you hear it for yourself.
Shema, 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 Shema. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Blessed be his name, his glorious kingdom reigns forevermore. Hear, O Israel, the Lord God, the Lord is one. Blessed be his name, his glorious kingdom reigns forevermore. Hear, O Israel, the Lord God, the Lord is one. Blessed be his name, his glorious kingdom reigns forevermore. Hear, O Israel, the Lord God, the Lord is one.
Yes. Amen, amen. All right, let me see what you're saying, Brother Tony. I gotta unlock it so I can move it up. Okay. Yeah, Brother Wesley, get him out of here. He talking about somebody a Muslim. That's how you know he not even paying attention. We Israel, fool. I never heard of a Muslim rabbi before. What's going on here? Oh my goodness, get him out of here. How that KRS One song. What are you going to do when you're out of here? Such and such and such and such and such, out of here. Out of here. Boogie down with it, but you just don't stop. Down with the sound called BDP. Oh my goodness. Anyway, Three Before Joy. These are the sisters right here. They got several albums out. I'm not sure if I think I have this in the link. I put a lot of this stuff in the link. Let me move my face from their stuff because it's kind of blocking the albums and all that stuff. Let me move over here. There we go. Yeah, but the sisters got several albums out. One called The Journey, well, two called The Journey, Volume 1 and Volume 2. That's their Messianic albums. They got videos, as you see this on YouTube. Then they got singles and all that stuff. These sisters are doing their things. Like, these are their singles. They got stuff at Apple Music. They got streaming stuff through the SoundCloud and Spotify. Yeah, shalom. Yeah, if y'all, I put him on timeout, but maybe he left now since he see that we gonna be putting him out. So that brother's off the hook. I can't have him interrupting the chat. I love the chat. Amen, Aki. Amen. And the sisters, nice sisters with nice voices. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff. They even got early years. This is when they was young. You can see when they was young because before they had the natural hair, you know, and they still shining in their youth. Like, yeah, so real nice, Aki, real nice. All right, so definitely wanted to get that out the way and now we can get into why we are here. Get into the actual reason we are here for right now, which is to see what's going on with Dr. Umar, right? Let me hide myself from this because I want y'all to see this background. The joint is nice. We got the American flag burning in the back. It says they don't want no smoke. They don't want no smoke. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this, which is the main reason everyone is here. So I kind of broke it down into different segments, and hopefully we can get through all of the segments. You know, hopefully we can get through all of them. So we can click on right now. Let's go with this one.
And black people got to be careful.
All right. Get that over there. All right. So now it's going to start off with fire. Everybody, get ready. You know how the brother do what he do.
Right. And black people got to be careful about raising the importance of other people's issues to our own. Because by doing that, you reduce the quality of your own fight. Right. Because nobody else has been through what you've been through here. Everybody in America showed up as an immigrant. We're the only people who showed up as imports. Why would you dare make the gay struggle equal? Why would you dare make the Arab or Asian struggle equal? Ridiculous. When those Asian women were murdered in Atlanta, which was a tragedy,
listen to
and
this.
I didn't have a problem with the president making a law against it. But my problem was you had about 8 to a dozen Asian women get murdered in one night. And it was as a result of one night. One night. The president and vice president flew down to Atlanta and met with the Asian community. He passed an executive order almost overnight. A congressional bill came, anti-Asian hate, unanimously passed. Almost overnight. My issue with that, one Asian tragedy, they get a personal meeting with the president and vice president. They get an executive order.
Like
they get a federal law that makes it illegal to even use a racial slur. We've been here 400 years. You ain't never flew down and met with us face to face after no tragedy. When that damn devil walked into that supermarket in Buffalo, New York and murdered those Africans, when Dylan Roof walked into that church in Charleston, South Carolina, murdered those Africans, we didn't even get a face-to-face meeting from the president of the United States, who was black at the time, Barack Obama. But this is what you do for the Asians? And then you sign an executive order? And then you sign an anti-Asian hate? Where's the anti-black hate?
I don't want to sound dumb.
All right, so this is the thing that, and as y'all gonna see, I'm gonna try to let the video play and let y'all hear the people talk a little more. My finger was itching to pause it and stop at certain points, but I said no. So I kind of put little spots in it where I can stop and I can comment as I let the speaker talk for a minute. All right, so think about this. I hear what he's saying, right? He's talking about the bills and so forth that was passed. But I think one thing it's like we keep forgetting is that we are behind enemy lines, people. We behind enemy lines. Like, do you really expect the oppressor to do all they can do to big you up? Think about that. It's like we not thinking. I understand the conversation, and it was going a certain place as he was saying it, and then all I was thinking is, bro, like, we're acting like we're playing on a level playing field. We are behind enemy lines. We gotta keep that in our mind. Now that don't mean that we can't do what we gotta do to make it, but we gotta realize what it is that we have to do to make it, right? The main reason we behind enemy lines, and this when Torah comes into play, is because we broke the Torah. We have to get back to the Torah. That's the one thing our people just keep falling short on. And when you tell people about keeping the Torah and getting back to the Torah, they always say, well, we know about the Bible. We always had the Bible. I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not just talking about knowing the Bible or having a Bible. Getting back to the Torah, I mean, doing the things that we vowed. We made a vow, right? That all the Almighty says we will do. We are held to that. Even, and this is the crazy part, even if we don't know. Just because it was passed down from our ancestors, even if we don't know. The point of the matter is for us to know. We gotta stop and think, why is all this stuff happening to me? Right? Why am I going through all these things? Why I say like my people, you ever see that movie called Life? There's a movie called Life that was made by Eddie Murphy, right? And Eddie and sometimes people do stuff, to try to send a message, right? Eddie Murphy and on his movie called Life, they had this character on it called Can't Get Right. And it was because no matter what, he just could not get right. So that's just the name they called him, Can't Get Right. Now, that wasn't his real name, of course. But throughout the movie, while and the actor named Bokeem played him, he did an excellent job as he always does. And he just couldn't get right. No matter what, everything just was. Do we ever stop and think about that? Like, why we just can't get right? Why we just can't do the things that we need to do? What is going on here? And the thing with it is because we are outside of the will of the Almighty, because we're not keeping His Torah. I tell everybody that's the one thing that we haven't done as a people. We done tried Christianity, Islam, all those different things like what Wesley tried to say, right? We done tried all that stuff, right? Except keeping Torah. Just imagine if we all kept the Torah, how powerful a change that would be. I believe that's why they try to infiltrate us, right? They send in fake Hebraic groups out to try to get you to think about crazy stuff and to get you caught up with stuff so that you don't go to Torah. Because they know that's the key. That's the key right there. That's the key. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click further. Let us hear what else Dr. Umar was doing. And big up to the daily, oh man. Hold on. I want to make sure I get these brothers their props. Let me push play, and it should say their names. And then,
but you know, they would have to deal with their people. Who do we have that would support us?
I agree with you.
Now, this is something where it's about to go into. I know I just paused it. I'm gonna let it play. Don't worry, I'm gonna let it play out. I just want to set up where we at right now. And I think it's the Daily Wrap-Up crew. I believe that's their name. These brothers, big up to them for this content. Appreciate them for this interview that they had. They really got a lot of things out. And the main thing that people been debating and arguing over, we're going to get to eventually, but I want to build up to that point. All right, so anyway, now they about to get into Dr. Umar's specialty. Remember, he calls himself the Crown Prince of Pan-Africanism. And now they about to get into that with this question that the brother is leading into.
The reason they responded to the Asians the way that they did,
is they got somebody to call home.
Absolutely. You have China, you have Japan,
who do Black Americans have to call?
Who have political power.
Yes.
That America has relationships with that they can't afford to lose.
Exactly.
And you will have to answer. There will be political, economic consequences for letting our people get mistreated in your land. We don't have that. And the reason we don't have that is because we have not helped to build a single African state into the power base we need her to be so she can speak out for us. We have used our money to empower all these nationalities and use almost none of it to empower Africa, the very continent we need to do what you just said, be strong enough to be a diplomatic voice for American Africa.
But this is why I asked you before which one is more important to fix first, because if we had that power behind us, wouldn't it be easier for us to make moves over here? You know what I mean?
Now, what the brother asks and what he's leading to, because I can tell he's Pan-Africanist too. And he was saying that's why he asked, what should we do first? In other words, he said, should we reach out to Africa and try to build bridges there, or should we just work on ourselves here? What should we do first? How do we handle this?
If we had that power in Africa, absolutely. But we're not building the power, though. In other words, we should be in Africa right now. I'm sending you to Ghana. I'm sending you to Nigeria. I'm sending you to Namibia. I'm going to go to Ethiopia. We're going to sit down with the president. Listen, we are $2 trillion people. We need you to be able to speak up for us.
Would it be hard to get dual citizenship?
What are the economic slave chains that America has around your economy? What are the economic slave chains America has around your economy? And what could we do with our education and income to weaken those chains so one day they can fall? Africa would love to do business with us instead of the World Bank or the International Monetary Fund or the French government or the Belgian government or the German government. They would rather do the business with us. But the problem with Black folks, we are comfortable and content being American slaves.
All right, so now y'all heard that, right? That's the staple of Pan-Africanism, right? That's the staple of it, right? This idea of Africans worldwide, wherever Africans are at, to come together and unite back to one of the countries in the motherland, or if not all the countries in the motherland, and have this connection and this dialogue, and they can buy from us and we can buy directly from them, and we can trade and we can cut out the middleman, which, as Dr. Umar was expressing, was America. Now, I want you guys to think hard, because it's a beautiful dream. The way Marcus Garvey had it, Marcus Garvey attempted to do this some time ago, a long time ago, during the early stages of civil rights. Marcus Garvey damn near did it. Like, Marcus Garvey was a powerful man, and he really put this together. Of course, the CIA and I guess FBI got involved. They sold him some beat up ships to try to make it like he was swindling the money. He didn't know anything about ships. He thought he was getting a good deal on these ships and didn't realize the ships was beat up. Then the more he began to build and the more the Pan-Africanism movement was picking up under him, that's when America said, you know what? You out of here. We deporting you and sending you back to the West Indies. We deporting you and we sending you back to the West Indies, right? And that's what they did. Now, the reason why I said to pay attention to the one thing that he was saying, because I was sitting there, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, that sounds good, right? To be able to cut out the middleman, all the Africans come together, unite as one, and be this united force that everybody, the worldwide will have to deal with, right? It sounds good, right? There's only one problem. Like when he said, well, Africa would love to deal with us to deal with the World Bank. Africa would love to deal with us to deal with the Belgians. Africa would love to deal with us to deal with all these other powerful banking families and so forth, right? What you think going to happen? That's the question I want to pose to y'all. If y'all want to answer it in the chat, you can. What do you think is going to happen if this would actually begin to work? What you think would happen? If we was able to cut the financial chains that America had on Africa, if we was able to link up with Africans in Europe and they cut the financial chains that Europe had in Africa, right? If we was to get with the Africans in the Middle East and they was able to unite and they cut the chains that those Middle Eastern countries had in Africa, what you think gonna happen? I just want y'all to think about this. It sounds good, right? And I know people like, oh, brother. Let me give you a hint of what I'm thinking about, right? It was this brother. His name was Omar. Sound like Umar, right? His name was Omar. Was it Mumar? I can't remember what his first name was, but y'all gonna remember his last name. He said, it's a beautiful dream, as you say. However, we are separated by religious beliefs and mental issues that prevent us American black people to allow leadership, and African people are dominant on leaders. Yeah, and that's a good point right there, brother Tony. That's a good point right there. But the other thing that I was going to say, Aki, is just like with Gaddafi was trying to do that, right? He said, we got gold. I got my gold. Y'all got gold. We gonna make that the standard. We gonna get rid of this American dollar. That's what got them in bondage in the chains. The American dollar. We gonna get rid of this American dollar. We gonna base everything off of our gold. You know what happened? They killed him. They killed him. Claimed he was part of Al Qaeda and all this other stuff. Or not Al Qaeda. What was some other people called? ISIS. Claimed he was part of ISIS. He was doing this, that, and the other. And the whole time they was giving arms and funding those terrorists to overthrow him and the country. And then they killed all of his children. These are the type of people that we dealing with, and you say you want to try to cut them out as the middleman and have some kind of economic separation. They not going to let you live to see nothing like that happen. Even if we could get past the lack of leadership, even we could get past our own insecurities amongst ourselves, and if we could build a dialogue, the moment something like that would happen, they already show us the pattern of what they're going to do. Now, it might be some people disagreeing with me. It might be some people that's going to look at this video on a replay and say, I don't agree with nothing that brother's saying. I'm just trying to tell you. Again, we behind enemy lines. And if these guys feel like you're doing anything that's going to jeopardize them, they will take you out. They would do it in a way, if they feel like it's going to make you a martyr, they would do it in a way where nobody won't even know that they took you out. They think you just died from COVID. You had some kind of illness. It was a plane accident. But then all the people that was flying the plane got bullets in their head when they found a body, but it was just an accident, a plane accident. That's the type, this is who we dealing with. That's why as I heard that part, I'm like, I hear you, but I don't know about that. But let's go and look at some other stuff he was talking about. He talked to them about a lot of things. I'm going to get to the part that y'all want to get to, I promise.
We're not looking at the global ramifications of our irresponsible behavior. We're not looking at the global needs of our people. We are content with this America the way that it is. We are comfortable being treated like 21st century slaves.
Now, I agree with him with this. We are comfortable. I feel like we comfortable because many of us are asleep, right? Many of our people are asleep. They don't even, if they wasn't asleep, they'd be on type of all these type of political conversations and this, that, other. Many of them don't care nothing about this. As long as they can make some money, they can buy a nice car, get a nice house. They good. That's all I need. I got the money. I got the car. I got the house. I got a family. I'm good. What I care about any of this other stuff, right? I'm barely making it through, but I'm making it. I'm one of the ones that's making it. I'm good. So he's right with that. So use what they give us, land and build on it. I have a plan, but I will leave it there. We no longer have to be afraid to go to war. I hear you, Aki. Hey, yo. Oh, hey, as Tony Danza would have said on this show. Hey, yo. Oh, hey, I hear you, Aki. I hear you. Let me finish. Let me let him finish this part out so we can get through this.
Because if we were not, with the resources we waste every day, we would be going crazy. Go down your social media feed. Does it look like Black America's in a crisis?
No.
Go down your YouTube. Does it look like Black America's in a crisis?
No.
Go to your Twitter. True. Go in it. If you
like
did not
Black
know
America
how racist America was, and you went to Black Twitter, Black Instagram, Black TikTok, Black
Nothing
YouTube,
important there.
could you tell?
No.
Don't it look like we live in the best times of our lives? Because Black people are like overgrown children. Slavery arrested our psycho-political development.
This is so sad.
Slavery arrested our psycho-political development.
So sad.
The slave system turned us into eternal children in this country. What do children do? They spend their money on the things that they like, and they beg their parents for the things that they need. Is that not Black America?
Yeah.
$2 billion on Air Jordans every year.
You're right.
$4 billion on liquor. $30 billion on hair and beauty. Nearly $1 billion on chicken, turkey, beef, and pork. Multiple billion on video games. Multiple million on children's cologne. Children's cologne. Check this out.
Yeah, I got this take the words away. We in the wilderness, people. You know, we in that wilderness stage, just like with our ancestors when they was in the wilderness. What did they do? Every time trouble or something hit, they said, "Why you take us out of Egypt? We should just go back to Egypt where we was living good." What was their status in Egypt? Slaves. They was content to go back into slavery than to forge on to freedom. Just content with being in bondage. You got many of us like that now. I think about Ben Ami and the strength that him and his people had. Ben Ami and his people had strength. They believed in who they were. And Ben Ami said, "We gotta go back." And they traveled and went back to the land and living in Dimona to this day. They in the land. Now, I might don't like the political things that's going on with them there. And of course, I don't like how they being treated by the state of Israel and how they not even recognizing them, this, that, other, but that's neither here nor there. The point of the matter is, think about how many people that probably was with them that said, "Nah, I can't go on." Like what you said, brother Tony, you got the plan. Think how many people, when they hear your plan, might be like, "Nah, I can't do that. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy doing what I'm doing." People don't like to rock the vote. I had people tell me that when the Mashiach come, they don't want to go to no Israel. They ain't trying to go back to no land. They want to stay here, right where they at. I said, "Wow, really?" So the Mashiach come and say, "All right, I'm coming. I'm about to take you back to the land." You say you gonna tell them no? Leave me here, just bless me here? In the land of your bondage? Don't that remind you, remember when the Israelites was on their way into the promised land, and the guys, half of the tribe of Manasseh, and it was another tribe too. They said, "Hey, let us get our portion here on this side of the Jordan." And Moshe was like, "Wait a minute, you about to mess up of everybody. How y'all gonna have y'all stuff on this side of the Jordan when the people still gotta venture on? Like, y'all gonna cause the people to doubt. Like, what are y'all doing?" What did he say? He said, "But we are still slaves. It doesn't matter what you do. We are slaves. We are not in our land. We are slaves to our president and this world." Hey, man, you preaching tonight, brother Tony. Go ahead now. You preaching tonight, Aki. Yeah, that's hey. It's crazy. It's crazy, right? Hey, let's venture on. I don't want to run out of time before we get to the part I know everybody want to see. True people will run from my plan if they heard it. However, I believe in action first, and then they will follow. Amen. Amen. Amen, Aki. Amen.
We be considered racist if we only date within our race?
No, that's what you call race loyalty. And racism is a group system.
All right, so now we getting closer to the part that I know many people want to see, and it might have been a part that Brother Nehemiah wanted me to get to because it's a hot topic. I didn't even realize how hot the topic was going to be, but my YouTube pages is heated up with this talk. We almost there. So now he's talking about dating or marrying within one's nation. And is that racism to do that? And he's saying, no, it's not racism, which I agree, that's not racism. I don't know about many of y'all, but my mom instilled that in me when I was young. She used to she had the talk with me. I know it wasn't a talk about the police. Yeah, she had that talk with me too. But this talk was the looky here. I don't know what's going on in your mind. But you better not bring no white woman in this house. And I be looking at her like, huh? I'm not even thinking about that right now, right? But she made sure she told me, don't you bring no white woman in this house to me. And I'm gonna let you know now, boy. But why? Because she was all about building up our people. You know, that's what she was about, building up our people. So it wasn't about being racist, like, because she knew, you know, white people and was friends with them. I know that's what a lot of racists say. I got one of my best friends is black. One of my best friends is white, right? But it's not racism. You know, it just was being proud of your people and building your people up. And she was trying to build that within us, to have a sense of pride and building your people up.
Yeah. Of exploitation, discrimination, oppression, bias, where one group seeks to deny all members of another group their fair share of resources, opportunities, and privileges.
Now, hold on.
Oppression.
We be within our race?
No, that's what you call race loyalty.
Race
and
loyalty.
Racism is a group system.
Yeah. All right. Now you want to explain racism.
Exploitation, discrimination, oppression, bias, where one group seeks to deny all members of another group their fair share of resources, opportunities, and privileges. You know why you can't be a racist? You don't own a damn thing white people need in order to live. True. White people need you for nothing, but you need them. Whose schools our kids go to? Theirs. True. Our money in whose banks? Theirs. Who's building the houses we need to rent and buy? Them. Who's shipping our stuff around the world that we need to order to live? Them. You follow me? They don't need us for shit. We need them for everything. We are as dependent on white people today as we was when slavery ended.
Now that goes to your point, brother Tony, what you were saying as far as just still being slaves to this day, right? I mean, and he's going to touch on that.
Did 157 years ago. So, in my opinion, if you talk to an integrationist, and say, how far have we come since slavery? Oh, we come very far. We got a black president. Now we got a black vice president. We got a black Supreme Court justice. We got about 10 black billionaires. We got about 100 black millionaires.
Ain't shit changing.
Because their definition of progress is based exclusively on superficial assets. Are you following me? Now that's the integrationist. Now you come to me, the nationalist, the Pan-African nationalist. How much progress have we made since slavery? Zero. But Dr. Umar, how can you say that? Black people got master's degrees, doctorate degrees, houses in white neighborhoods. We own our own businesses. We got millionaires. We got tech companies. Here's my question. To what extent are we now in a better position to protect and dictate the lives of our children today than we was when slavery ended? Let me ask it another way. When slavery ended, we owned 1/2 of 1% of all the wealth in America. Guess how much we own now? 1/2 of 1%. 1/2 of 1% of all the wealth in America. What the fuck has changed? Nothing at all but the appearance of things. Right. The only thing they did when they ended slavery is change the way it looked. They traded in slavery. Before the 13th Amendment, we were owned by individuals. We was the property of individual slaveholders. After the 13th Amendment, we became property of the government itself. We are slaves of the state.
So,
yes, now that goes right to what you were saying, brother Tony. It links right up with it. Like, we still in the bondage. We ain't free from it. We still there right now. Still there right now. Still there. You know? People say, well, I feel like it's free because now, you know, we make money, this, that, and other. I hear that. But even a job is slavery. Stay over there.
Yeah. They selected Barack Obama to make make the black community in America safe for homosexuality. And they needed him internationally when back Africa support because America needs Africa's resources. So he was a stooge and a puppet. He knows it, but he did it willingly. You know, I'm sure he has trouble sleeping at night sometimes.
I don't even know what to say. Oh my God, I don't even know what to say.
You know what I'm saying? But my point again, if he has no power, and if you claim your vote, see, both things can't be true. Either.
Now, I agree with him with this. At the time, be honest, I had a specific reason why I voted for that brother. And the brother did like he said earlier. I cut that part out because I cut a lot of the interview out. I got the original interview in the description for those who want to see the whole interview. It's about an hour long. I cut it down about 20 minutes so that we can get to each part that I felt was powerful and needed to be talked about. But the interview was actually an hour long. That's only part 2 of the interview. I think they got a part 1 too on that page, and I got that page and everything within the description. For those of y'all who want to check it out later, you can go to the description and it will be, and it is there now. Yeah, but so what he's saying, like he said, if he don't have no power, why vote for him, right? But now if you feel like ain't none of them going to do nothing, at least you can have a black one in there. But listen to how he's going to how everything went. I watched it happen, so I see what he's saying.
Your vote is important, or Obama should have never been elected because he ain't got the power to do nothing. You see that? You can't have a vote. You can't say my vote means everything to me, but I'm going to use it on a man who can't do anything for me.
That's crazy.
It can't be both ways.
Can't be
I'm going to be
both
honest
ways.
with you. And I don't blame Barack Obama. To his credit, he never said he would do nothing for black people. Do you understand me?
Face value.
Yeah, and that was the thing, right? He kept saying change. And we thought change meant it's going to be something to change for us. That was his whole run. It was all on change, 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 right? But you know what I mean? It was like we found out later that change had nothing to do with us. It says we are slaves when we own businesses. We are a slave working. I struggle with this every day. Should I go back to work or continue working for myself? The struggle is real. Yeah. I definitely get what you said. That's what Dr. Umar was saying, where he was saying slaves to the state. You know, because you still got to pay different things. You still got to pay for this, that, and the other. But I say working for yourself is more freedom than working for somebody else. Because you work for somebody else, you got to punch the clock. You can't be late. You can't do this. You can't do that. There's always this idea that they can fire you. When you work for yourself, it is nobody that can fire you. Unless you fire yourself, but there's nobody that can fire you. And that was one of the things that I loved when I worked for myself, was that freedom of being able to work when I wanted to. If I woke up late that morning, I ain't gotta say, "Oh man, I'm late. What's going on?" The only person I had to be upset with was myself. But as far as what the type of work I was doing, if I got up and I was late, I just know I had to work a little harder that day to meet my quota. But there was no body over top of me threatening me, and I come in and they looking at their watch, doing like this, looking up at me, looking at their watch, and I ain't had to go through none of that working for myself. So it's a type of freedom, but you know, yeah, we still in beholden to the state and the federal and all that stuff because they gonna want a piece of the action. Yeah. Amen, amen. Let me see.
When Jesse Jackson ran for president, 84, 88, he said he would do something for black people. When Al Sharpton ran, he said he would do something for black people. When Barack Obama ran, he made sure he didn't mention black people. Even in his presidential address, he wouldn't even mention Dr. King by name. He just said a preacher from Georgia. He wouldn't even say his name. Obama stayed as far away from black issues as possible. So to his credit, he didn't lie to us. We projected onto him this messianic complex that's failed us. Because guess what? You know what? Do you think Joe Biden would have ignored black people if we didn't let Obama do it for 8 years? Do you think Donald Trump would have ignored black people if we didn't let Obama do it for 4 years, for 8 years?
Now, Joe Biden, I can get with that argument, but a lot of y'all not going to like this. A lot of y'all not going to like this, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. Black people didn't go to Trump and ask Trump to do nothing for them. So we can't say Trump ignored them. They didn't go to him because the moment somebody black would go talk to him, everybody throughout the whole internet or wherever say, "Here, Uncle Tom. Oh, he's shopping a driver for some money." It was like, well, dang, I even said, well, how in the world are you going to get something if you can't even talk to the guy? Because as soon as you talk to him, everybody going to label you Uncle Tom. Like, seriously. Like, I remember talking to people about that. I'm like, dude, it was like you just, and I remember them asking the different people that was speaking up for black people and saying this. They said, well, you want to try to talk to him? I ain't talking to him. I ain't talking to him. And I'm like, dude, how you going to get what you need to get? Did y'all forget Martin Luther King Jr. had to deal with racist white people that was overtly racist. He had to go and tell them, hey, we need this, we need that, for them to do it. He ain't sit back and say, I ain't talking to him, he racist. You call me Uncle Tom. I'm like, they done tricked us to not talk to people. And then the crazy thing about it, the dude kept claiming that he wasn't racist. So I said, dang, y'all could have got him to do something. Okay, you say you're not racist? We'll do this then. You say you're not racist? We'll do that then, right? I could have had the man do stuff based off of him saying he ain't racist. But the black people were so scared to talk to him because black Twitter, black Facebook, black social media period was going to drag them as being an Uncle Tom and a sellout just for going to the guy and saying, hey, we need you to do this because you're the president. Like some of these black people actually said they'd rather just sit on the side instead of talking to him because they don't want nobody to be able to call him Uncle Tom. I said, this is the stupidest thing ever. That's why I'm a blast y'all on it, because some of y'all looking right now said to say, oh, he racist. You don't think Lyndon Johnson was a racist? You think John F. Kennedy wasn't racist? Ain't they the same people Martin Luther King Jr. had to talk to? And they was overt. They was right out in the open with it. But we ain't gonna talk to him because he a racist. That sounds so stupid. Everybody went with it. And as soon as anybody black got bold enough to say, I'ma talk to him. Here come black Twitter, everybody, oh, Uncle Tom. Everybody got memes with you, Tom, and you crying out, holding them with the little picture of from off of Django with the little butler, I can't even think his daggone name. Samuel L. Jackson played crying, holding Leonardo da Vinci. Not Da Vinci, Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh my goodness. But it was true. I know some of y'all looking at it right now on the replay. Y'all probably like, he right. We were going to, I'm still ain't going to talk to him. Okay, well then you can't complain about not getting nothing. If you don't go to the person, he listening to blacks that's right there with him. He like, well, what do they want? What can I do to show them I'm not racist? They telling them to do stuff that the majority of blacks not even looking for to happen. And then he do it, and then it's like, look at him, he ain't doing. All right, well, why you don't tell him what you want him to do? Tell him what you want him to do. No, you scared, because as soon as you go there, all the black people everywhere gonna call you Uncle Tom and a sellout and have a meme of you and calling you Mammy or Sambo or whatever other name they gonna call you. And I just felt like that was a way to stop black people from asking for anything. I never seen a moment where black people didn't go to ask the president for something until Trump. Now we seen it with Obama where they just gave him a pass and let him go. With Trump, it was like, I don't even want to talk to that man. He racist. I'm like, okay. You don't think all them other white people that was back in the day was racist that the people had to talk to? Like, that joint is crazy. And my argument is to this day is I know the man personally, but the black preacher sat down with him. Ice Cube sat down with him. Did he change anything? Nope. Oh, well, we about to get into Ice Cube. I'm glad you brought up Ice Cube because that's where we about to go with what Dr. Umar's talking about, because that's one of the main things that I wanted to touch on. So I'm glad you brought that up, brother Tony. Let me click play so we can get to that part.
You will never get another president's attention anymore because the whole world watched Black America catch hell and give Barack Obama a pass for 8 years. The worst thing we could have ever done was publicly say it was okay.
How do we bring
for him
value
to not do nothing and just be black?
How do we bring value back into our vote?
Yeah,
You have to organize it along racial lines.
I thought it was disrespectful.
Get out the Democratic Party.
When Joe Biden, when he was asked by Charlemagne, why should black people?
Now, notice what he said. He's gonna go back to it. He said we gotta do it by racial lines or national lines. We gotta do it by our people. Can't do it by saying, oh, I'm in a Democrat Party, or I'm in a Republican Party. No, it got to be something for our people. We can't get caught up. I know a lot of people who were quote unquote black conservatives, and they get caught up with the Republican Party because of the religious views. And they say, well, the religious views is what got me. I'm like, brother, it's about our people. You whine about the religious views, you vote for them people who don't care about these people with little social issues, they don't care about you on that end. You gotta make the people care about you. Right? He said he's self-absorbed, narcissist, he wanted to prove he was better president. I'm sorry, I missed what you were saying, but I know the people saw it. So yeah, but what the brother said right there, he asked the question. Dr. Umar said we got to build it along racial lines, right? So let's get what he about to say.
Who vote for you, and he's just like, well, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Like,
oh yeah, that was that disrespectful stuff Biden said. Charlemagne asked him, "What you gonna do for black people?" He said, "What I'm gonna do for black people? If you don't vote for me, you're not black." They're like, "What?" Like, because the Democrats feel like the black vote is guaranteed. We don't got to do nothing to get the black vote. We know we got the black vote. And the Republicans feel like the black vote is owned by the Democrats, so why are they going to cater to you? You're not going to do nothing for them anyway. You're going to always vote Democrat.
That wasn't an answer. He just was like, yo.
It was disrespectful, but you know why? And he didn't get no flack from it.
He didn't.
But you know why he was comfortable enough to say that? Because the Democratic Party has owned the black vote since 1933.
Exactly.
This is 2023.
They own the black vote. They feel like
in
the black
another
vote is
9
guaranteed.
years, we would have voted Democrat for a century. What have the Democrats done so great?
Shit.
that we owe them our vote for 100 years.
Exactly.
Bro.
What have they done that they feel like they own the vote? That's why I straight, once I went straight to
Get out to
independent.
your question. Get out
I
the
said, I
Democratic
ain't gonna
Party.
build
Get
none
out
of
the
these
Republican
parties.
Party.
That's right.
Black people need to become independent.
That's right.
And we need to run and finance our own independent candidates.
Mm-hmm.
So when you become mayor of New York, when you become governor of New York, when you become a city council or state rep, you're going to do whatever the black community tells you to do because you don't owe nobody nothing. You didn't take no money from the Rockefellers. You ain't take no money from Chase Manhattan. See that? You ain't take no money from Morgan Stanley. You ain't take no money from Walmart. You ain't take no money from Hyundai. You ain't take the money from McDonald's. You are a free candidate. The problem with our elected officials is 99% of them show up in office already enslaved by the dollar of another man.
Yeah.
So how can
we up there celebrate? Oh, he's the new mayor of New York City, like the guy y'all got now. Ain't he a former police officer?
Yeah.
What we vote for him for? He's a damn cop. No disrespect to him. He might be a nice guy, but you fraternal order of police?
His color's blue.
So thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. So what we vote for him for?
I don't know why y'all voted for
an
him.
independent party
Y'all was
win then?
crazy for
Because
that
if
one.
You don't need to win. In fact, you don't even need the party. You just need an independent political union. In other words, let's say we're a numerical minority, right?
Right.
We could run an independent. We never gonna win because whites got more votes than us and Latinos now got more votes than us, right?
Yeah.
We didn't have to win.
You don't
We're
gotta
gonna leverage
win.
our votes.
There you
We're
go.
gonna have a political town hall meeting with all the major candidates: Republican Party, Democratic Party, Libertarian, Green Party, right? Say it is New York City. We got 4 million black votes.
Yeah.
And we putting them all in one place. We are not splitting.
There you go.
Do not divide the black vote.
Don't divide the
Put
vote.
it together.
There you go.
We're going to ask y'all some questions. After y'all leave, we're going to talk about y'all behind y'all back. We're going to have a big community town hall debate. But when we walk out of here, we agree that majority rules.
Right.
And whichever one of y'all we vote for, that's who's going to get the votes. And if you do not deliver on what you promised
This is
the very
the
next
part.
election, you're gone. They're going to
Yes,
have to
you gotta
deliver.
do
Can
that.
they survive without your 4 million votes? Hell
Nope.
no. Hell no.
That's why they say save us for the end and start
Absolutely.
shit to make us
Listen,
happy.
here's what y'all need to understand. Nobody wants an organized black vote.
Nobody.
Let me say that again. No black governor candidate wants an organized black vote. No black U.S. Senate candidate. No black U.S. rep. No state rep, state senator, city council. Nobody, black or white, in politics wants an organized black vote. You want to know why? Because you now got the power to hold them accountable. If we was organized, your mayor would have to go to war with the police department on our behalf. He wouldn't have a choice, or he's going to be unseated. Do you understand me? You think he wants y'all to be organized? These handkerchief head ass black politicians who don't fight for us in these governmental systems, do you really think they want your vote to be organized? You will make them turn their slave master into an enemy.
Do you think that's what?
All right, now, that's why I got this picture of Ice Cube up there, right? So what you were saying, brother Tony, Ice Cube did exactly what Dr. Umar said, and he understood. He said, you know what? We can't vote Democrat. We can't vote Republican. We got to vote independent. And what we got to do is come up with a contract. He came with a contract with America where he said he had people write it, so he didn't write it himself because it was other people. How can Ice Cube write something? He don't know that. Instead of even looking at what he was talking about, he had some teachers and brilliant people that was around him draw this stuff up for him. They figured out all the stuff that black people need and want. And what he did, like what you was talking about, brother Tony, he went to the Republicans, which was Trump and them at that time, and he went to the Democrats. And he presented it for them. He said, can y'all sign this contract saying that y'all going to do XYZ for us? Same thing like what Dr. Umar was talking about, right? We guarantee y'all get this amount of the black vote. And if you don't, then, and if you do, we do get you an office and you don't do what you're supposed to do, then you know you're not going to get it next time, right? This was the thing that the Ice Cube tried to do with all of them, try to get them to sign a legal binding contract that they was going to take care of XYZ. Now, he took it to Trump and them. Trump and them was so, Trump and them was so trying to prove so much that they wasn't racist, Trump said it sound good. He said, I implement the stuff this and that's what he said, right? He took it to Biden. Biden was like, I look at it after I win. I ain't looking at that right now. Right? The same arrogantness that he had when he said, if you don't vote for him, you not black. That's what Biden ran with that, where he already feel like he got the black vote. So why he gotta sign your little dumb contract with black people? He got the black vote. The person who felt like they didn't have a black vote, which was Trump, said, okay, I'm struggling with this joint. I sign whatever you guys want, right? Now, what did the people do? Even though Ice Cube set out to do this is where he said nobody wants to organize black vote, right? This is what happened. Ice Cube was trying to have an organized black vote. We tell people we gonna vote for these people, and if this don't happen, we gonna shift our votes towards these people to let you know we not playing. That's how you vote. But the Democrats knew we got the black vote. We don't care. He dismissed Ice Cube. Ice Cube said, he was like, dang, the Democrats carried me like that. Even the Republicans at least sat down and listened to me, and we had a conversation. This dude said he don't even want to look at it. Just talk to him when he get in office. The dude is in office now that ain't doing jack. Him, that dude, right? The dude that y'all said was going to stop the police from killing people, black people, and ever since he been in office, police still killing black people. That dude, that guy right there. Right? So they tried to destroy Ice Cube. They tried to do the very thing that I said when black people tried to talk to Trump. He Uncle Tom, he a sellout, blah, blah, blah. But everybody know Cube. People didn't fall for that with Cube. I think he was the only one that could do it, and they couldn't say that. Everybody was like, man, get out. Ice Cube ain't no sellout. Hell out of here. It still was people, he a sellout. I even said something to people that post something like, man, take that down. You sound stupid. We gonna believe Ice Cube a sellout. Get out of here, right? It's the one brother that could pull it off, right? And it just blew my mind. I just sat there like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, this brother had the perfect idea, like what Dr. Umar said, you gotta hold them accountable. I'm gonna give y'all an example, then I'm gonna move to the last part that I know is the part everybody been waiting for the last few seconds. We'll touch on that a little bit and close. I'm gonna give my 2 cents on that part. All right, so I'm just gonna sum this up with a story. Late in Baltimore, some years ago, it was this governor called Glenn Denny. This was a law. I was young, just started voting, right? It was this governor called Glenn Denny. And we had a mayor named Kurt Schmoke. And Kurt Schmoke went through hell with this governor for his term. And he tried to plead with this governor to give him stuff, but the governor was upset. This is why I said we as black people cannot come together as one. And the argument was who put him in charge of us. Again, leadership issues. Exactly. Crazy stuff, right? Crazy stuff. Exactly, Aki. So anyway, let me get with this story. So the governor didn't do nothing for black people in Baltimore. He told Kurt Schmoke, because he didn't like Kurt Schmoke. He didn't like the black agenda and stuff Kurt Schmoke was trying to do in Baltimore. He wanted people like Du Burns to have been in office and so forth. He didn't like Kurt Schmoke. So he told Kurt Schmoke, I'm not doing nothing for Baltimore. Nothing. So Kurt Schmoke, every time we needed money for something, he begged and begged and begged, and this man said, no, I'm not doing nothing. And I don't mean secretly saying he publicly said, I'm not doing nothing for Baltimore. Period. It was time for him for the re-election. During that time, you needed Baltimore to win. Now nowadays, Baltimore kind of spanned out with people, so it's like you could kind of win without Baltimore to a degree. But during those days, if you didn't have Baltimore, you lost. You had to have Baltimore, right? Or you lost. So Kurt Schmoke knew the power. So Kurt Schmoke came and he went out and he began to tell Democrat, because both of them was Democrats. Glendenning wasn't no Republican. He was a Democrat just like Kurt Schmoke. Kurt Schmoke said, you know what? This my city. I grew up here. I love y'all. We can't let this guy get back in office. Even if you got to vote for a Republican, y'all got to show this man he cannot disrespect y'all and get away with it. Kurt Schmoke went on a campaign going against the Democratic Party, telling all the people that looked up to him and listened to him, don't vote for Glendenning. Don't vote for Glendenning. Don't vote for Glendenning, right? Glendenning was in trouble. Baltimore said, we not voting for him. The Democratic Party was furious with Kurt Schmoke. That's why they didn't even let him run for nothing else. He just went back to his practicing law because he was a lawyer. Democratic Party said, we got to do something. We're going to lose Maryland to this Republican. I can't remember the woman's name that was running, but it was a woman Republican that was running against Glendenning. And she was gaining numbers in a poll because black people in Baltimore were saying, we're going to vote for her because we're going to show Glendenning the power of the black vote, that he can't spit on us and act like we're nothing. What did the Democratic Party do? They went and got Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson came down here not knowing what was going on. He didn't understand the political atmosphere and what Glendenning had did to Baltimore. All he knew was the Democratic Party said, we in trouble, we going to lose Maryland, and we need this black Democrat vote. So Jesse came out here and said, show him in the vote, got to get the vote, get rid of the dope. He started saying all these dumb rhymes, and black people got all excited, and they went out in droves. Listen to what I'm telling you. They went out in droves and voted for Glendenning, the person that they know didn't do anything for them. And he won with a landslide. They said they never seen black people come out and vote like that for the governor during that time. They said he won with such a big landslide from Baltimore. And you know what he did when he got in office? This is something that you guys got to learn because this is the power of the vote. You know what he did when he got in office? He looked at Baltimore. He said, I'm still not going to do nothing for you. And all those dumb people that voted Democrat was walking around, Glendenning ain't doing nothing for us. And I said, why did you vote for her? Because I'm a Democrat and my family Democrat and this person is Democrat. I said, well, that's why. You voted with a political party instead of voting with what you knew was your best interest. You're going to vote against your best interest for a political party. So I don't even want to hear you complain about Glendenning. I don't even want to hear it. Get out of here. Right? I seen it with D.C. and Washington, D.C. where they wanted to get rid of Marion Barry because he was doing stuff for the people of D.C. and the people of D.C. loved him. So they set him up with the woman in a hotel with the crack. And they had them shirts, this beat set me up and all this stuff. And they tried to blast him all over, try to make him look bad. But you know what happened? Those people in D.C. remembered what he did for them. And they didn't care if he was on crack or not. They voted him right back in to be the mayor. and everybody was so mad with DC, and people was all Jay Leno and everybody trying to make fun of DC. I said, y'all can try to make fun of them all you want, but they knew this guy did stuff for us. That's how you vote. Who want to do something for you? Not vote because of this stupid mess. I'm a Democrat. I'm a vote Democrat. Stupid. Stupid. All right, let me get off my high horse with that. I'm going to get this last part so we can get out of here. This is the last part. This is the part y'all been waiting for. So I'm going to get it to the part y'all been waiting for.
So, obviously, a big thing, obviously, we spoke about the gender wars, earlier. Obviously, there's a lot of conversation nowadays about, the value of what a woman brings and the value of what a man brings in a relationship. And now there's a lot more rhetoric from our women that we hear is, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, right? So,
That's pain speaking, though.
Right.
Because most black women know they will never get a man. A black woman can have sex whenever she wants.
Right.
Because she's beautiful. She can have a bed mate, but to have a soul mate, she may never get. I have 2 daughters, 11 and 20, right? My oldest will be 21 this week. Statistically, right? There's a strong chance my daughter could be one of those. I hope she's not. She could be one of those who never get a husband because only 1 out of 4 gets a husband. You see that?
Yeah, I feel you.
So when a black woman says, I don't need a man, that is a reaction to the reality that I may not get a man.
So why not preach? Because I understood, you're obviously against interracial relations when it comes to black men with with white women.
With all women. You should only be with the black woman.
And you will say, well, if you can't find a good woman in America, there's
somewhere else.
In Africa.
Absolutely.
So why not teach that same rhetoric to our women? Like,
I do. If you feel I tell sisters all the time, go to Africa. So I know sisters who marry. I just spoke with a sister. She invited me to the wedding. She just married a brother from the continent.
But instead of saying they.
Now, that's where the heatedness about to get into with this next few statements. So buckle your seatbelts, people.
They will never
I'll
get
take
married.
my sisters to Africa who married brothers they met in Africa.
Right.
So
I think there's obviously plenty of black men
yes,
and black
it is.
women. So
and what I also tell black women, if
married,
you're going to go get you an African man from the continent, you're going to have to understand that the way in which you talk to black men in America will not be tolerated over there.
Why the fuck is it tolerated? It's not tolerated here. That's what we're trying to tell them.
Well, over here, I want to say this to us, though. Because we try to act like the way sisters treat us doesn't have a history that we are not at least partly responsible for. Let's be honest. The black woman has had to hold down the black house.
This is
by
true.
Herself.
This
although
is true.
Imperfectly. She's had to do it by herself since the mass incarceration of black males began in the 1970s. You understand me? Most of our children are raised by a single mother right now.
This is
and
true.
it has been that way for about 50 years.
Go ahead,
so when
brother.
a sister says, I don't need a man, because she couldn't find one strong enough to hold her down. Or when you meet a woman and you say, sister, I'm strong enough to be your man. You ain't got to work or you ain't got to pay the bills or whatever. Pull back. I got you. And she can't do it because all the other men before you who disappointed her. So what I'm saying is, black men, we got to be patient with our women because we created that personality. We created that. And then we want to act like we didn't play a role.
We have to be held accountable for their poor selection.
No, you have to be held accountable.
Because they got a poor selection.
You have to be held accountable because they have a poor selection.
Go ahead, brother.
See, what you're saying, you're selecting a poor mate. And what I'm saying is they don't have much to select one, so of course she's going to end up with a poor mate. And why is she going to end up with a poor mate? Because we as black men are not raising black boys to be the men that our women need. We are not. They out there killing themselves right now. What we doing about it? Nothing. Unemployed black males, what we doing about it?
Nothing.
Pants sagging, weed smoking, what we doing about it?
Nothing.
Black men are not raising black boys to be the men our community needs. That is 100% our fault. What I'm saying is she got a right to be angry with us. She got a right to be angry with us.
Now, this reminds me of the scripture where it says that if you don't have Torah, you gonna have blood in the streets. The youth running around doing crazy stuff. That's right there in the prophets. I can't think of the scripture right now offhand. But everything he's saying is on point, right? But the brothers, I'm gonna explain it later. I'm gonna let the brothers watch this.
We have not been on our job as black men. If the men are the providers, What have we been providing for our community? I'm not speaking you individually.
Yes.
Because you may be a damn good father. You may be a damn good father. You may be a damn good father. But guess what? What are we doing for the community?
And that's what he's trying to say. And I feel like so many people miss this part. And they just trying to say, Dr. Umar said we are supposed to just take the black women and just go through whatever they give us. And Dr. Umar said, I'm like, is y'all not hearing what he's saying? He's saying I'm not talking about the individual. I'm not talking about on an individual case. He's talking about as far as people as a community. Right? And it's like they just couldn't get past that part. They got Dr. Umar saying we should just do this. Dr. Umar blamed the black man for everything going on with the black woman. It's the black man fault. I'm like, what are you talking about? Let me play some more.
What are we doing for the children who don't have a father? You don't think the black woman got a right to be angry when she's been raising 2/3 of the kids by herself for 50 years? And the minute she raised her voice, we say she's not humble enough? She had to become masculine to survive the rape, the molestation, the domestic abuse.
Them brothers, they were none of this. They was hot. If y'all check out the whole interview, I clipped it, but y'all check out the whole interview. They was going back. That's why they call it a heated debate. This is the heated part. The other parts wasn't heated. This is where it got heated.
Are you telling me you can't see how we created that?
I understand that, but she needs to...
Now, this is the... I hear what Dr. Umar said. This is my take on it. He talking to the wrong people, right? He talking to Generation Z. This is Generation Z that he's talking to. These guys are byproducts of what he's talking about. In their mind, they didn't do nothing to cause this. How you telling them this their fault, right? They just came here. How is it their fault? You know who fault it is? Ours, Generation X, right? It's Generation X and baby boomers' fault that stuff is the way it is like this. It's not these guys' fault. Now, he can try to tell them, he should say, this is our generation's fault, my generation and the generation before mine. But you guys, y'all pretty much just game on a scene. So let me tell you how it can be fixed. But he's telling them like it's their fault. And in their eyes, they sitting there like, it's my fault. I ain't do nothing. I'm a good man trying to live good. All this stuff. A lot of people from Generation Z, you know, they got fathers that's in the house, is trying to do the right thing. It's not their generation. Now it is people in their generation now because they caught up with stuff that is going to be continuing to create Pookies and Ray Rays, right, as they call them. But all that started from the baby boomers and Generation X. He says, I agree with what he said because if we don't do something, the poor black man will become extinct. However, what can we do? We can't raise grown kids. That's what I'm saying. So it's sort of like this. It's like the one generation, we just got to realize when they at the generation that he's talking to on this chair, Generation Z, it's going to be kind of hard to reach them. You got to reach the youth. These new youth that's coming up. That's 10 and 11 and all. You got to reach them. You know, if I had money or some substance or whatever, you know, I would open up like little gyms and stuff where they could come and you could kind of separate them from everybody. And it's like you just got to make that change. But the main thing in all of that is to teach them about who they are and to help bring them up. It's like you got to teach them, like you said, we says that we are at fault. We should have monitored music, dress codes, been better at protecting our communities, then that we would not have the issues we have. Exactly. And that's what he's saying. That's why I say he's talking to these young people, trying to get them to see, but I'm like, they not going to see it because they the byproduct of that stuff. He seems to be talking to people our age and older. We the ones, right? These young people don't know nothing about this. Hey, look at the little young dude face with the Yankee hat on. He looking like, he blaming me. That's how he looking. He like, is this guy blaming me? I didn't do this, right? And he didn't do this. Now it's continuing on through his generation, and unless it gets stopped, it's going to keep getting worse and worse as it goes on. But this started with our parents and us. That's where it started. And I really say it started with my generation, Generation X, right? Because I remember when we used to get in trouble. I remember not being able to cuss around grown people. It didn't matter if I knew them or they was my family. They was grown and we was around them. We didn't use profanity and cuss words around them because we knew we could get tore up by them. And then they'd take us home and tell our parents, and then they'd tear us up. So we already knew that. We knew not to do none of that. But it was people from my generation that said, I ain't gonna never let nobody hit my kid. I'll never let nobody do nothing to my kid. It's my kid. It's my kid. And they took the community out. At first, it was the community was raising the kids. So that was the extraness that we had. So even if it wasn't a father, no, I remember this guy didn't even know. And I remember one day I was on the phone talking to my mother, and I think I had a little bit too much bass in my voice, and dude didn't even know me. He hemmed me up and said, you talk to your mother? I bet I ever hear you talk to your mother like that. And I was shook. I was like, dang. I was kind of mad, but I couldn't say nothing. And what happened? Then let me know. No, you can't do this. You can't do that, right? But people wanted to take that away. I don't want the community to be able to tell my child what to do. This is my child. So now your child out there being bad as hell, and the community try to say something, and you the main one in the community face with your hand on your hip, yelling and cussing and talking crazy. So I really believe that crazy change that brought about Ray Rays and Pookies that everybody talking about now came with my generation. I grew up with people that literally told me they never gonna let nobody be able to do that to their child. And I'm sitting back looking like, what in the world? Like, so it's crazy to me. So I like I said, I know a lot of people was upset with him for making a statement, but what he said, I'm talking about the community. I'm not talking about the individual. I'm talking about the community as a whole. And what he's talking about is what we used to have during my generation, where you was beholden to the community. I get on a bus now or something, and some kids get on it, and they be right there by, they be cussing like I ain't even there. And then you look at them like, hey, what you looking at? And want to get smart with you. And you sit back thinking, dang, I ain't never do that. I'd have been scared to do that. I'm around an adult cussing, standing crazy. But nowadays, and I say that is because of people during my generation who said nobody ain't never gonna be able to tell my child nothing. And if anybody try to tell my child something, be in their face. And that's the reason why it's a Pookie and a Ray Ray. So that's what Dr. Umar is speaking to, right? That's what he's speaking to. So I know it's hard for Generation Z and the younger generations to understand that. So he trying to speak collectively, saying us and we and our, and they like, we ain't had nothing to do with that. Why you say us, we and our? We had nothing to do with that at all. Yeah, so I know that probably was the main thing a lot of people wanted to see was that, because that was a real hot topic about that. And I'm going to let him just close out what he's saying.
We was loving our women and taking care of our women. Do you think she would be like that? That personality has a history.
If she's picking Pookie and Ray Ray instead of...
You're making her a scapegoat.
No, she's picking a scapegoat.
No.
There's good quality men.
See, that's why I said he not getting it. He talking about her picking a Pookie and a Ray Ray. He not understanding that because of what my generation did, it birthed Pookie and Ray Ray. It birthed the little boy that knew he could get away with whatever because his mother or father, whoever, was going to be right there saying, don't say nothing to my child, and be ready to fight and defend the buffoonery. And then he passed it on to his generation, and then their generation, and then their generation. And now we got this problem now. So I just wanted to just get to that. Let's let y'all see that, you know, this is the problem.
Hear brothers talk
now.
like this discourse we having now.
Yeah.
We act like we don't understand.
No,
There's reasons for that shit.
Now, he said we act like we don't understand. Those guys don't understand because it wasn't them. It was us. It was us, brother. It was us. So anyway, thank all of y'all for logging in. This was an exciting 4th of July show. Had a lot of information, covered a lot of things. I'll let y'all know what next week's show is going to be about. I'm not sure yet. But I should know by tomorrow and have the flyer up for you all to see and a notification up for you all to see. So for right now, please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, subscribe so that more people can get involved, so that the information we talk about here can go beyond this. I don't just want it just to be something that we talking and this, that, other. I actually want it to be something that people can learn from and grow, so that we can just be a real good community, so we can get back to that point that Dr. Umar was talking about, where we was a community policing ourselves. And a lot of the stuff that's happening now would not be happening if it wasn't for people trying to make changes. And yeah, I just sit back and look like that. This was my generation that did this. And a generation, but the generation before mine was the last one that had that community. Then my generation began to break down once they start having children. And then they had children, and now we got Pookies and Ray Rays. Oh, man. So again, everyone, my name is Rosh Ya'acob Abraham. I'm a rabbi of Gethsemane Spiritual Temple Congregation. On this channel, we talk about Torah and try to get a biblical understanding of life and things that we ought to do and how we ought to make it. I appreciate each and every person for logging in. And caller, he said, thank you, my brother. As always, this show was lit. As the kids say, shalom, my brother. Thank you, Aki. Thank you for helping to keep me going along with it and making it lit. Like now we sound like we young lit. So anyway, Aki and everyone, just thank all of y'all for logging in and calling. I mean, we'll keep saying calling. For logging on and for everybody that's going to watch on a replay, please like, share, and subscribe. And so we can get this message out here. And I bid you all shalom.